Alright, YouTube, welcome back. Been a couple of days since my last video. Now, I'm still having some video problems with my screen capture software. I don't know what exactly is going on with this, so I do apologize for the quality. I'm going to do a really quick video. I don't want to do too long of a video like last time, given the quality issues. I didn't know about the problems that the capture software was having until I rendered it last time, so hopefully it doesn't have the same problems again. It probably will. I believe I was doing some testing and I didn't really get it fixed yet. Tried a few solutions, nothing really worked. So this is going to be a short video just touching on a couple of things real quick. First of all, we're back here. It's still just 2 days after I started, as far as like the game time up here in the corner, so I really haven't done anything. I actually haven't touched it since exiting. Here's my kingdom. It's Georgia, if you don't remember, so this narrow little kingdom. Now I'm going to be touching on two things here today. The first, I'm going to be touching on a little bit about diplomacy. I'm going to get my game underway, and also some of the council positions. So the first thing I'm going to go over is my goal with this game. My goal is actually to take the historical Georgian kingdom. Not what they historically had. I haven't done enough research yet to know if this is all they had, but there is something in the game called de jure kingdoms, de jure empires, de jure duchies, and the relevance to you depends on, obviously, your kingdom. Now, Georgia, historically, the lands that Georgia had claim to, the lands that were culturally maybe Georgian, or at one time according to this anyway, at one time the geographical and traditional kingdom of Europe was all of this land. Now, I only have these 4 territories, so obviously my goal is to expand, take Kaesongs, Katai, Kartali, Semder, Derbent, and Albania, and obviously those are probably terrible pronunciations. I looked through these a little bit before I started the video. Kakati is the first one I'm going to try and take. There's a few reasons. First of all, if you look at the religion map by hitting this cross over here on the right, it is Christian, and it's currently ruled by a Christian, so they're the most similar to me. Now, most of these other provinces are Christian as well, but one of them up north here, Kaesongs, is actually ruled not. Kaesongs is not independent. It's ruled by a much larger duchy, the Duchy of Alania. So it's a much more powerful opponent. Then there's Derbent and these three territories, which are all historically Georgian, but they're currently ruled by a decent Muslim kingdom. I'm sure I could beat them, but it wouldn't be easy, and it would be taking on a lot of land before I really got anywhere. Then there's this small independent Muslim county, which is called Duin. It's Orthodox, but it's ruled by Muslim. That's why you get the like blue and yellow check marks. Yellow means Orthodox, blue, or not blue, green, and green means Muslim. And then there's Kartali. Now Kartali is, as I said, Kakati. Duin is a different one all entirely. Kartali is run by an independent Muslim kingdom. Kakati is actually currently ruled by a Christian who, this little blood symbol on his portrait means he's of my dynasty. So if you go to your character by clicking on your portrait and then go to the portrait on the house diagram, if you actually scroll through here, if you go up several generations back to around 800 AD, the first king, oh, I'm not going far enough, am I? How far do I have to go? Jeez, sorry about this. So yeah, I know he's related to this guy, but why it's not showing up, I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, no, if we go all the way up here, we will find out that essentially he is related. We're gonna go down far enough. Go down here. Oh my goodness, these dynasties are huge. But essentially, he's a great relative. I had trouble finding him. I did a little research, but I was able to find him. He's like my great grandfather's brother's wife's nephew or something like that. So I mean, it's extremely far removed. He's not closely related. But if a member is a member of your bloodline, it is much easier to convince them to become part of your kingdom. Now, first of all, he rules his own little independent kingdom. I have one vassal. That's my nephew, the Duke Devat II. He rules Tau and Guria. I personally rule these two. It's part of my Demzes, or Yeah, Demmes size, which means the lands that I personally hold. So I personally hold these two as king. These two pledge their loyalty to me under the Duke of, what's his title? The Duke of David II. Now, the way the feudal system worked was independent dukes and vassals pledged their loyalties to, a king or to a duke or to a baron. Everyone pledged their loyalty to someone. So what that basically meant was a duke would pledge his loyalty to a king, which would mean he would send a small amount of money, and he would promise to send a certain number, not all of, but a certain number of his armed forces to assist the king in any war. Now, the reason that a duke might do this is prestige, first of all. A king, given the fact that he's a higher up power, has the ability to lay certain favors on people. So you could get special favors if you were a member of a larger kingdom that had more power, more pull. You may get certain favors and privileges you wouldn't get if you were off on your own. The other thing is security. Because you're a member of a larger state and a larger military, your independent kingdom is not vulnerable. Or not as vulnerable. And if they're more powerful than you, obviously it makes sense to join them if they're going to come in and crush you anyway. At least you can get more out of it. Now, in this case, Kakati is an independent Christian kingdom ruled by someone in my family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him to become a vassal. You can ask any independent kingdom to become a vassal, but if I go on this one, Kartali, the Muslim kingdom, and I offer it to them, they'll say no, because I'm a different religion than the ruler, so that's viewed as a false religion. They don't like that. And just naturally, kings or dukes normally don't want to give up power. They like having sole power. Now, when I offer it to this guy, what's his name? Count Agriston of Kakahiti, he does say he will become my vassal. And if we look at this, he's impressed by my power, so it gives you a plus or minus sign based on their opinion. So he's very impressed by my power. I'm very close to him, and I'm much more powerful than he is. He has a positive opinion of me, and those features overcome his base reluctance. His positive opinion is a 36, which ties down to my state diplomacy. He likes that. He likes the succession, the way that my successor is selected. He likes that. Every lord may have their own opinion on that. He likes that my vassals are autonomous. I'm not going to go too much into law, but if we go over to the law tab, you'll see that my crown authority, which is basically how much power I have inside my kingdom as king, is the lowest possible measure, so he likes that. This basically means that I allow the individual fiefdoms and kings to almost entirely run their affairs almost entirely by themselves, and that very limited amounts of force and economic power is required for them to grant, to give to their king. It's a very weak kingdom, not weak in power, but in law, my dukes are very independent. They don't have to do much for me. And then he also likes the fact that we're in the same dynasty. So the reason I'm doing this is because he's a member of the lands that I want to take, and he is willing to join me. Now, I haven't found another that has been so willing to join me in a little bit of research. I haven't played any time, but I have done a little bit of research. No one else near me is willing to join me so easily. But, at least in this case, I should be able to gain an extra fiefdom into my lands without any resistance whatsoever. So let's go ahead and you have to wait a couple of days. I just unpaused it. So you have to wait a couple of days before you get his decision. And there you go. He agrees to swear loyalty to me. You see that changed color and now is part of my kingdom, which is excellent. So now I have grown and I have taken one of the provinces, which I said I did want to go ahead and take. So I just took one. That leaves me with 4 or 5 more that I need to take. Now the next thing I'm going to touch on real quick, because I said this was going to be a short video, is the council and how that works. You can select different members of your court. So really briefly, there are all these different characters who are lords or courters or have different standings within your area. You can invite them to your court, which basically means that they hang around and advise you and do other things, but they do go to the court expecting to get some kind of position. or at least that's their ambition. So you have a chancellor. He deals primarily with diplomacy, and his rating right here is going to influence how good he is at that. You can send him to improve diplomatic relations in different provinces, fabricate claims. So you need a reason to expand, like to go to war. For example, Kartali is a land that I could go to war with. I'm going to show you this. You need a reason. I could go to a war with any Muslim kingdom and declare it a holy war, because they're of another religion. But also, even if they are a member of your same religion, if they have territories that are in the areas that you claim for yourself as part of your de jure kingdom, you can execute your ducal claim. So what that means, in this case, I can execute a ducal claim because I own the provinces of Guria and Tau, which are both part of the duke, or the fief, that Kartali is part of. So there's traditionally different groups of land are all grouped in, and the ruler of Tau would historically rule over Kartali. So I can execute that ducal claim because it's part of the duke's, I guess, area that he should be ruling. Then you have a marshal who's in charge of your military. You can have him suppress revolts, which reduces the risk of revolts in your territories. Train troops, which improves the size and speed at which your military reforms after battle. Or research military technology. I haven't gotten into technology too much, but we'll go into that later, not in this video. You have your steward who handles your economy. Similarly, he can research economics, oversee construction, which would accelerate the construction of different buildings, or collect taxes, which would increase your revenues, although not make your people as happy. There's a spy master who can uncover plots, so the different members of your court and your family may have different ambitions and they may plot against you or other members. He can find those out. He can build a spy network, so basically spy on the technology in other areas, spy on the nobles of other areas. And try and maybe turn them against each other or turn them toward you. And then study technology, which is what it sounds like. They can study technologies in other, counties and try and steal technology from them. Then you have your chaplain who handles religion. He can improve religious relations. He can research religion or cultural tech, and he can help convert people to your faith. So I just took Katai. It is a Christian kingdom. There's no reason to do that. All of my kingdoms or fiefdoms are all members of the Orthodox Christianity faith. But if I was to take Semender or Albania, neither one of those, if you click on this little religion tab here, it shows you the religion of the territory, neither one of these two is Christian. They're both Muslim. So if I were to take that, I might want to send my religious minister out there on a mission. Now in this case, I'm just going to kind of show you what you would do. I'd like my marshal to train my troops to increase my military size, so I'm going to send him to this province, and he will improve the levy size and things like I said there. It tells you right there what they'll do. Increase the levy size and also increase reinforcement rate. There can be no negative effects as well. You see there, nobles might not help me. There's a 3% chance they might oppose what I'm trying to do because they don't want me to take their private armies. A kingdom, as I kind of hinted at before, is nothing but a collection of private armies. So dukes and lords over their small lands, their peasants can be drafted into their military and forced to serve them. Of those, the dukes can send a portion to their king to serve for their king, but they don't want the king to increase their levy sizes and reduce the size that the individual lords have, because that, protects their own security. So I'm going to have him do that. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with my chancellor. We'll show you what my steward can do. My steward's going to go ahead and he will... Well, I don't really want to do anything with it. I'm going to have my spy master uncover plots because I want to know what my people are doing. And my priest is going to go ahead and research cultural tech. I like doing these in my home territories, parts of my DMZs. We'll go over that a little bit more later when it's more relevant. But we're going to leave the chancellor for now. So I went over a few different things. It was a shorter video. I didn't want to get into too much because, like I said, the quality of the video has been kind of poor. So we're going to go ahead and stop this video here. I will have another one up shortly. Hopefully I can get some of these issues with the screen capture solved, if not totally resolved. And thank you for watching.